go ahead and start on YouTube because this is kind of like the waiting room for the Fippy Fest. Let's see. Let's see. Is this working now? Because I want to see their keynote and see what they have to offer today. There we go. Perfect. All right. So this is the waiting room for Fippy Fest and seeing exactly what they have going for us today and what we're gonna see, if anything, or if it's just talking about old things. What is this so-called Fippy Fest and where are the hot dogs? Well, BB, hello. Fippy Fest is a first, I guess, a first of its kind of thing for Everquest. It's kind of like a celebration of Everquest. They used to do these a lot. They had SOE Lives, which would kind of try to compete with Blizzard, and then they kind of stopped. They kind of gave up when things kind of went sour for them. And now I'm kind of curious to see what they have to offer because this is partially in person, but to go there in person, it was a little expensive. Like I think $1,500 or something like that. It was a lot. But they're doing this live and it's on their YouTube channel, which I'm going to link right here for anyone who wants to watch it yourself. Right there. Hey Mark, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Hey Gulu Gulu. Hey Jay. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. We're going to be watching some Wizen.
Supernovas all over.
Wizen. Thank you so much for the resub. 36 months, Wizen. Holy shit. How are you doing, Wizen? Are you excited for this? 1,500 is kind of much. It is. It absolutely is. I think it was because I believe they had a very small space that they could do. And I was sad that I didn't get to go to PAX East because at PAX East, they actually had, you know what, while we're doing this, I had Everquest up as kind of a waiting room thing, which so far Everquest has been working, but I've been having crazy ass issues with what's it called? Crash a desktop. So we'll see if that stays. But yeah, 1,500 was because they had a very limited space, but they actually were at PAX East this year, which I don't think they've ever been at PAX East before. Maybe at E3, I'm not entirely sure. Because like they said, they had their SOE Live thing, so they didn't really need to. Our EQ2 and EQ1 Keynote streams combined. The Keynote is like all in one. I don't think they have it separated out into EverQuest 1 and 2. The schedule after that goes into like the making of expansions, the art of EverQuest and EverQuest 2. I don't think I'll be able to stay for the whole thing, but then at the end they have closing remarks, they have a content creator thing, and then they have a hide and seek in game, which is separated out. So they have a hide and seek that's going to be on EverQuest, and then they have a hide and seek that's going to be on EverQuest 2. So those are the parts that are kind of separated out as far as I know. See, is there other questions? Unaware, to be honest, listening to you on Walmart wireless, watching the dog in the car. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, Wizen. Yeah, I know these games or stuff aren't really my thing, but I love being here with you in chat, so I enjoy the community aspect more than what's on screen, to be honest. Oh, thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. $1,500. They better make me a game NPC and free membership with a side of fries. I think there was like, oh shit, I'm dying in game. Hang on. Hold on. Wait. Okay, hold on. I'm actually I logged out in a kind of a bad place. This is on TEEK, by the way. And I'm in Kearns. So yeah, I'm actually on TEEK because I finally may have gotten my Crash a Desktop figured out. I was working with EverQuest support, which shout out to EverQuest support, Darkpaw support, because they sent me like all these steps to try. They went back and forth for like 8 emails. They had me try all these different things, gave me a step-by-step guide on what to do, and I think it worked eventually. It may have I think it's something to do with Windows and not necessarily with EverQuest. But this is like multiple reinstallations, driver changes, registry change, like all kinds of shit. Red getting clapped, name a better. Wow, BB. Just because you called me out in your video on Space Marines 2. Never played EverQuest 1, but Burr and I are Only near Kearns. Oh yeah, in Everquest too. Yeah. Kearns looks way different. I think most things look way different in Everquest 1 compared to 2. Although I am excited about to play Everquest 2's Origin server. I'm a little surprised we don't have a date yet, though. We don't have a date, as far as I know. I haven't seen anything yet. Because it was supposed to be June, but I also know that they were doing a what's it called? Beta test. So they're beta testing to see if it worked, and I wonder if they encountered any issues. Yeah. I figure we'll try it together, DB. If you still have your subscription, you're ready to play it anyway. I can't. This is too many. I need to go this way. Also, Monsters and Memories at the end of this month, and you and I are going to be playing Pantheon soon too, BB. You got lots of MMOs to try soon. Oh shit, that's 3. No. I could leave, but you know what? I'm kind of an idiot. I could. These aren't undead. I can invis. I think it's this way is up. So we've got about 12 minutes until the start of the keynote. We could do like an EQ guesser, but Brighter Shores. Yeah, Brighter Shores coming soon too. Have they announced a release date? Because I know that they were saying this year. It's crazy how many MMOs we're just suddenly getting this year. We got early access to PAX Day. We're gonna be getting these big server things with EverQuest and EverQuest 2. We have huge expansions coming for the biggest MMORPGs out there. You've got expansions for World of Warcraft, which is coming. We got announcements. It's freaking in August for the World of Warcraft expansion. This month, you have the expansion, the Dawn Trail expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. Well, I guess end of this month, beginning of July, depending on when. And then you have expansions coming for Guild Wars 2. You have expansions coming from Elder Scrolls Online. And it's just like, damn, like there's a lot going on. Also, I'm going down. Q3, they said, so maybe August. If that's August, will be very intense. I mean, granted, it's intense this whole way. That's a trap, I think. Because June was intense for stuff, and then July is going to be intense as well. And we just don't have to talk about New World and their plans. Hey, Kevo. You think there will be any big EQ announcements today? I'm 50-50, right? Because for anyone who didn't see the panel from EverQuest when they did the panel at PAX East, which they actually posted the panel from PAX East. Thank you so much, Kevo, for using your Prime. I really appreciate that. But for anyone who didn't use the or didn't see that, in that they did officially confirm that they're in the ideation phases of EverQuest 3. So basically, they confirmed the thing that we'd already kind of confirmed through basically documentation. So I'm hopeful that we get something in there about EverQuest 3, some kind of, yes, it's going forward at least, if nothing else, because the plan was to kind of get started on it in 2025, and that's 6 months away, right? So I'm hopeful that we get something, even if it's just them saying, yes, we are still working on it. Yes, we're still hiring for it, because that was the thing they were doing, is still hiring. But that might be something they do in the closing remarks at the end of today and not now during the keynote. But I'm really hoping that we get something from the keynote. It's a 30-minute keynote. If they just go on and say, EverQuest is cool for 30 minutes, I think I'll be a little disappointed. I wish they would just reuse Landmark. I wish, okay, Landmark is one of those games where I don't feel like it needed to close. And there's a couple of games out there that I really feel like should have just kept on. Even if it was just in, what's it called? Maintenance mode. And Landmark is one of them. Because it was so much user-generated content, it was user-created. So there's not really a whole lot of dev involvement in that way, and there's undead here, and I'm gonna get myself killed here. Do I just not know how to leave here? Because that's down. I just followed people down here, and to be honest, I've never really been in the basement in Kearns. can probably actually kill these two. Can I kill these two in 8 minutes, or will I die in 8 minutes? Let's do this. Did I only aggro one? Okay, that's I'm killing your buddy. Oh no, okay, no, that's all of them. Oh, this one's gray, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. I lost $100 on that on Landmark. My wife back when Landmark was coming out, she didn't really understand gaming at all. She didn't really understand MMOs at all. And I remember it was one of my birthday presents. She got me a Landmark Founders Pack, and it was like one of the sweetest gifts I've ever received, because it was her showing, even though she didn't understand what she was buying me, it was like her recognizing something that I was super into and super interested in, and be like, hey, I got this for you. And like, that was awesome. Like, she figured out how to do it and everything, because it was a little complicated on how to order it, but it was really cool and really sweet of her. And thank you again, Kevo, for the Prime. I do really appreciate it. Landmark was fun. My kids would have loved it. I agree. I mean, I don't have kids at all, but I agree. I think it could have been a game that had an audience that could grow, especially since you could create your own things, and people created some really cool things. Put a lot of time into it, especially now with like, man, like, I want to get back to playing Enshrouded again, just because Enshrouded makes building kind of easy in a way, and it uses the voxel-based system that Landmark was using. Not quite as in-depth as Landmark's, but still pretty freaking cool. The Everquest show mentioned a big surprise reveal today. Can't wait to see what it is. Yeah, ooh. I know that fading is like the master of ceremonies or something, which is awesome. Fading's the one that has like all of the connections with Everquest and has for years. And very nice person. I've talked to him a bit. He's a very nice guy. So I'm excited to see. I'm glad that he's getting this opportunity too. It's awesome. It does really good building. Yeah, Enshrouded does have really good building. That's kind of like, so BB Landmark was an EverQuest game, and it was a game kind of in the vein of Enshrouded, where you could build things, and you can actually, like, they had things called like micro voxels. So like, you build a square, right? And then you could take out pieces of that square and create things that way. Like, it was super in depth, and people created some awesome things. And it's really a shame that it got canceled. Not canceled, it released and then closed, which is what sucks. And kind of like the darkest time for Daybreak, well, what would become Daybreak and Sony Online, because they got sold off to an investment company that was embroiled in all kinds of scandals and shit. People thought EverQuest was going to get canceled. People thought EverQuest 2 was going to get canceled. It was just a bad time. And that was only in 2015. God, I was about to say that was only 5 years ago. That was 9 years ago. Oh, time is. Yeah, I spent days of playtime at my house, right? Like, it was one of the things that I really like to do in Landmark, which was weird. I wanted to see how far down I could dig. I just wanted to go down into the ground. And I remember, because the things would respawn, right? The voxels would respawn. And so the voxels respawned. So I actually got trapped under the ground in Landmark, which actually is kind of what I try to do in Enshrouded, is I try and dig down as deep as I can, but the things don't respawn, so you don't get trapped. So that's kind of cool. Am I going to get out of here before... That looks like up. We've got 4 minutes till start. Oh, damn it, it's down. Wait, no. I'm going the wrong way. Wow, okay, I thought these are walls. I just thought this was a map. This is confusing as hell in here. Have you tried V-Rising yet? I tried it in early access. I did not try it once it was live. Also, I'm level 18 and I don't have my pet, and I probably should at some point try and get that. It'd be nice if EverQuest added more to work on past just character development, past just gear only. I agree. I mean, EverQuest has housing now. So EverQuest Live and EverQuest Progression servers are very different in that there's a lot of stuff in EverQuest Live that doesn't exist in like the older expansions of EverQuest, but even the housing is kind of, I don't know, it never hit with EverQuest the way it does with EverQuest 2. Right? Like housing in EverQuest 2 is such a huge thing. It's its own thing in EverQuest 2. And it's been its own thing since EverQuest 2 launched. Having a house and all the decorations they have for your houses that are not cosmetics that you have to buy on the store, and you actually can create through crafting, and you can actually go find through loot, is a huge and wonderful thing, I think, for adding that kind of horizontal progression.
Like there's supernovas
AP,
all over?
thank you so much for the alerts. I do have to say
37 months.
I am going to turn off alerts. I forgot about that. So I will be turning off alerts now. So I apologize. Let's turn that off and these, because I'll be muting alerts for this. I think that's everything for the show. I'm really bad at this, but also I'm not dead, so that's cool. Wait, what? My mom? The alert sound? I have so many. It's just me high pitched. I have so many snow globes from holiday events on the many years. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm full on AA and max raid gear, and I'm like, now what? Yeah. Okay, I think we'll kill this thing and then probably switch over. Someone got to fix that map, add some depth or colors. And the funny thing is, like, one of the things I wish you could do was import the maps from EQ Atlas, because those were like hand-drawn maps. All right, let's see. Are we getting ready? June 15th, 10 a.m. So it's 10 a.m. PST. Let's just reload this real quick. Sometimes it doesn't like to show up, and it's like there's 600 people waiting for Fippy Fest right now, though. Again, if anyone wants to watch it directly, this is the link. Posting it in both YouTube and on thing. I don't know what to expect. It could be a nothing burger, or we could get some cool reveals, but I want it to be with y'all to see it live, is basically what it comes down to. If you wait, no, I already know this one, Dayhawk. I know this one because you did this one in BB's chat. So I know this. I know that pun. I know it. I was ready for it. I was prepared. Also, excuse you, skeleton. Excuse you, skeleton. But how are you doing, Dayhawk? It's wonderful to see you. Perhaps a server quest to build EQ cities to unlock more missions and raids would be cool. The thing is, like, that's one of the things that they were trying to do with Landmark, and I actually thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a cool idea. Oh shit, am I gonna die? Oh no, I have no mana. Well, this is not gonna go great. I was not paying attention at all. And I didn't med. Are you dancing with that person? Yes, baby, I am. EQ2's housing is fun. I agree. EQ2's housing is really, really cool. I'm excited to see like how they implement it in the EverQuest 2 Origin server, because they bring back the all the little areas from the start of the game that they condensed into the major cities of Freeport and Keynote before. Okay, wait. Also, I believe we're starting. Hang on. So we're gonna switch over. To this. Okay, we're starting in 3 minutes. By the end of the 3 minutes, either I am going to be dead, or the thing will be. So look, see, here's this. We're in a battle of attrition right here, right? I think I'm losing said battle of attrition because I'm a mage with no pet and no mana. Wait, here we go. Wait. Are we still gonna lose? We might still lose. Can you hear the browser as well? Because that music is from the starting thing. Let's see. Well, oh, I died. Well, you know, I think nature has a kink. The worse we treat it, the harder it gets. Jayhawk. Jayhawk. Oh, you did get me. Yes, you did. I was pulled over last night and the officer asked me if I had a police record. I told him, no, but I have a couple albums by Sting. Yep. Alright. Here we go. Where is it? There it is. 2 minutes! Hopefully y'all can, let's see, can y'all hear? Should be fine. I do really like the Year of Darkpaw logo too. I got the art for it, which you can't see because it's behind me, behind the green screen. I also got a t-shirt with it, so I thought it was really cool. It's crazy that Everquest, the channel, like the main channel, has less than 5,000 subscribers. We have 4.98k subscribers. I know it says both EQ and EQ2 on screen, but it's only streaming on EQ. Do we know if it's both or not? I think the Keynote's going to be both, most likely. And I think they made the choice to stream on just Everquest. I don't know. They actually have Twitch channels too, so I'm not entirely sure the thinking, because they could have technically streamed on both, but they did it this way. You got to do some shout out for him, I do, right? Well, okay, if you want to watch it here's the channel, which actually I'm going to pin this. Can I pin this on here? Let's see. There we go. So if you want to check the Everquest channel directly, you can find it there. They've been more active this year. They have been a lot more active in general in all of their interactions with fans, with creating content and stuff like that, which has made me very happy to see. And eventually we'll get the content creator program, but for now I'm gonna shut the fuck up because apparently we're starting in 2 seconds.
You want to hear my EQ story?
Okay, so here is my Everquest story.
This is my Everquest story.
And this is my EQ story.
This is my Everquest story.
And this is my EQ story.
And this is my Everquest 2 story.
And this is our Everquest story.
There's the fanfares I was talking about from back before.
When Everquest launched in 1999, it quickly became the most successful massively multiplayer online game of all time. In developing Everquest 2, a team of over 100 artists and game designers worked for over 5 years to bring an unprecedented level of cinematic immersion to the game. To power this online fantasy world, an immense infrastructure equivalent to one of the world's top supercomputers runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But the real driving force behind the phenomenal success of Everquest is the devoted community fan.
Right, Abyssal?
It's interacting with people, it's making real friendships.
Oh, Everquest, you changed my life forever.
I met some of the coolest people and made friends from all around the world.
I jumped online, and I heard we're going to attempt the Avatar of War in KO Drackle. I was ecstatic.
Every player is part of our Everquest story. How is Everquest a part of yours?
My Everquest story? It's awesome. Started playing EQ1 in 2002. I was 12 years old. I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I had to stop playing baseball. So my friend showed me Everquest. He showed me how to play. I found out that the gist of the game was that you run around and you attack stuff. It was pretty boring. I mean, I didn't get it. I died, I lost my corpse. I got ready to quit. And then a high-level guy, this awesome guy, like, runs up to me. He gives me, like, 10 platinum and a sword and these awesome buffs. And I was like, you know what? I want to be that guy. Like, turns out it was the top paladin on the server. And I was like, well, you know, I could do that. I played EQ1 until level 80, and then Everquest 2 came out. And I had a guild, and my friend is like, oh, you know, so why did you start playing this game? And I told him the story. And he's like, you know, you're not going to be that guy. You're not going to be the best. That's not going to happen. And I was like, well, I mean, I could try. I learned the game. I learned all the lore, I learned all the classes, I learned how to raid, I learned all the content. I started playing with some people that were way over my head. Next thing I know, I got a message from the #1 guild in the world. They paid for my transfer, and I've been there ever since. Marigoth
They paid for the transfer?
#1 paladin in the world. That is that.
Okay, that's kind of awesome.
An epic adventure awaits you.
This
Not
is the
in theaters. Not on television.
That's the actual trailer voice.
Journey to the world of Norath, a living, breathing fantasy world live on the internet. Embark online with hundreds of thousands of people to form alliances, friends, and enemies. Arm yourself with a variety of fantastic weapons and magical spells. Then prepare for an adventure like no other.
Man, I just got chills because that's the trailer.
Any logical person
that
would
had
have
me
looked at this
so
and said,
into
"You
the
guys
game.
can't
Also,
do
I just
it."
tried to put the volume up as high as I
for
could.
it to go this big.
It was very hard, but it was rewarding.
And just being able to sustain all the players and provide enough content and things to do.
It's been fun being a player. I got this job through playing Everquest.
All the people on the team are actually players still.
A bunch of us come in early in the mornings and play.
I love seeing people enjoy playing what we create.
The entirety of the game pulls people together.
Everquest players, you rock!
Yep, SOE.
Everquest, my favorite game by far.
We got interested in online gaming together 4 or 5 years ago.
I've been playing Everquest since March 20th, 1999.
I'm a Dark Elf Necromancer.
My highest is 39.
Level 38 Paladin.
I've been playing Everquest for 2 years.
Welcome to Everquest Fanfare.
Brass. $6,000? Holy shit. (2007) SOE Fanfare 2007.
Two people are one. Gotham, Quadra. I now pronounce you husband and wife in the lands of North.
My wife would have killed me. Oh, that's right. They made a beer, didn't they? They made an Everquest beer, didn't they?
Thank you, Everquest.
Ollie, who's
for all
now
that you've
over at
done
WoW
for so
Classic.
many of us, and the differences you've made in our lives.
If it wasn't for Everquest, my life would not be what it is today.
Because without your game, I don't think I'd be here where I am today.
Thank you, Everquest.
Thank you, Everquest.
Happy birthday, Everquest. But that is my Everquest story.
And that
is my EverQuest tombstone.
There's fading from the EverQuest show right there.
Thank you all so much. What an incredible adventure it has been for the last 2.5 decades. And the adventure continues. From here in beautiful San Diego, California, home of Daybreak and Darkpaw games, to the super fan ambassadors, you guys that are here with us in person at the San Diego Comic-Con Museum, to our players and fans that are watching this live stream all over the world, I want to welcome all of you to Fippy Fest. So now you're wondering, okay, what is Fippy Fest? What is this all about? Well, you might think that this is a celebration of the legacy of EverQuest and EverQuest 2. And it is. The numbers alone are a testament to the strength of this game. 28 years of development. It is the longest running MMORPG with continuous development. 25 years of a live service game on EverQuest, and a sequel that is approaching 20 years in its 20th anniversary later this year. 50 expansions have been released across both games, an incredible number. And every year since launch in 1999, for 24 consecutive years, EverQuest has released a new expansion, and in some years, 2 in 1 year. And for the 25th year in a row, Darkpaw is expected to continue that legacy this year. Absolutely. You're going to hear a little bit of info about those latest expansions for both games throughout this live streaming broadcast and for our fans that are watching this live stream. And you're going to see a few cool things as well. In the game, over the past 25 years, in EverQuest, over 9 million characters that have been created to adventure across Norath. Nearly 900 zones are available to explore, 400,000 NPCs to accidentally hit auto attack like I seem to do every single time.
Never do that.
160,000 items in the game. It's over 2.5 decades of the world of Norath. And Fippy Fest is a celebration of that. But that's not what's at the heart of Fippy Fest. Fippy Fest is a celebration of the tenacity of the Darkpaw pack. Now, I don't mean the team at Darkpaw Games that is here. Yes, they keep the games growing strongly, and they are a part of that pack. But I mean you, the players, the fans, those that have joined us in person, and all of you that are watching and streaming from around the world. The developers, too. You are a part of that. Fippy Fest is about the
Aiding is like
EverQuest
the
community.
perfect person to do this,
The
in all
community
honesty.
that, like Fippy Darkpaw himself, is tenacious and is passionate. And like the game studio that shares his name, like EverQuest, it just keeps going. I want to tell you guys a little bit about that community. But to do so, let me introduce myself. My name is Rob Ellis, and I'm a super fan of EverQuest. Thank you very much. Some of you know me as Fading in-game. Some of you from the EverQuest show as Fading. Like all of you, I love this game. I love this community so much. From that first moment that I stepped foot in the game, seeing the Fadark city of Kelethin, this huge forest with all the elven splendor, and adventuring across those wooden platforms, you know, the rope bridges, and then subsequently falling to my death and going splat. We all did it. We know we all did it. That first woolly mammoth that I saw in Everfrost Peaks, it was huge. It stood 3 times the size of my character. I was playing with my childhood friend Kevin back then, and he had moved away after college. EverQuest was our way to continue to play together, even though we were several states away. Both of us outfitted in the best banded gear at the time, by the way. We attacked it, and with 2 mighty swings of the gores of its tusks, I went splat yet again. I was a ranger back then, by the way. I quickly learned that ranger was synonymous with splat.
Not yet,
And
just started, mess.
Very quickly, I learned that that's the life of a ranger. So, the very first raid I went on, In Luckland, we were going to a place called Akiva Ruins. I was a level 42 enchanter. I decided to change to an enchanter by that point. That settled into my main as fading. It was my first interaction with the larger Everquest community. I had met other people in the game, online world, my first guild. They invited me along to this raid. We were engaging something called the Itriorvius. I know some of you know it, the IV, they called it.
Itriorvius.
Terrifying, huge cloaked figure.
Am I pronouncing everything wrong?
50 of us gathered around, trying to work together to accomplish this goal. I stood there looking around, kind of at the spectacle of it all of these people working together, not really paying attention that my hit points were slowly dropping.
Thank you, John.
And you guessed it, I went splat yet again. I found out that enchanters went splat a lot faster than rangers did, at least back then they did when I played. But the community, my guild, they were there. The battle raged on. They continued to fight. Ivy's hit points dropped very, very slowly because it's Luckland and the hit points were huge. As the battle raged on, they rezzed me back into the fight, right into the AE, only to go splat yet again, and again, and again. Now, after 25 years of playing, we've all gotten a little bit better. At least I hope so. We've all learned a little bit. I've learned a little bit more about playing an enchanter and raiding. But that community spirit, it remains. Now, I've been fortunate enough through the Everquest show to be able to interview some members of the community to showcase some of these amazing stories. Stories from Veterica, which we saw in our introduction video, the Everquest player who suffers from MS, who plays the game to escape the pain in real life, and can jump and run and play in the world of Norath and can play with her grandkids. She became her character, Veterica. Stories from Linda Carlson, who you also saw. Brass, we all know her and love her. I have big shoes to fill by hosting this event in her place. Went on from a player in the game, meeting her real-life husband, to becoming a games developer herself, all because of Everquest. Stories from numerous other couples that share that same online story. They met as characters in an online world, but realized they wanted to share their real world together, get married in real life, all because of Everquest. Their children exist because of Everquest. Stories from the developers who are as passionate about the world of Norath as the players are. Recently, I had a chance for the Everquest show to interview over a dozen of the developers. And I asked the usual questions, the Everquest stuff, servers, code, NPCs, zones, dragons. But the final question I posed was this: why do you think Everquest has lasted as long as it has? Why does this game endure? Interview after interview, they all gave the same answer. Worded slightly differently, but in general, the answers were all the same. The fans, the players, the community. At first, I thought, wow, their marketing team is really good. They've prepped them really well. But that same day, I had a chance to interview several other members of the Everquest developer community and other members that were not a part of the developers, even from former years of Everquest. I posed the same question. Why do you think Everquest has lasted so long? They weren't prepped by a marketing team, but their answer was the same. The fans, the players, the community. Because it's obvious. Everquest and Everquest 2, the community is here, what we are celebrate today. Community. This is what Fippy Fest is all about. Now, while this is the first day of Fippy Fest for all of our Fippy Fest live streamers, for some of you, for Everquest and Everquest 2's biggest fans that are joining us here in the room today, Fippy Fest is now in day 2. I want you to check out some of the experience our Fippy Fest ambassadors had yesterday in person here in San Diego. Take a look.
This is interesting. I wanted to see what it was like, so I'm glad they're showing us.
We are here in beautiful San Diego, California at the San Diego Comic-Con Museum for the start of Fippy Fest 2024. All right, it is the start of day 1. We are here for breakfast, and then in just a moment, all the attendees, the developers, the players, the fans, they're all going to go inside for a little welcome reception to start our big journey throughout San Diego for Fippy Fest.
And now I want to go to the Comic-Con museum too, because I didn't know they had a museum, and I really want to go. I've never been to San Diego either. San Francisco and LA, but never San Diego.
I've been playing Everquest since 2001. My mom bought it for me as a Christmas present back in the day, and probably the best thing she ever did, because she probably saved a lot of money. I didn't have to go out and do anything. So just kind of seeing an in-person event for the first time. I think the thing I was most excited
I'll definitely
about
have to go sometime, Vincent.
Just thanking them for the time that they put into the game and all the care that they take with it and all the things that they've done to kind of keep it going over the years. I think 25 years for EQ1 is a lot of time and a lot of effort that's been put into that. So just meeting them and thanking them is worth it enough for me.
We spend all year making stuff and trying to be creative, but we don't get to see the faces of our customers when they experience that content. So seeing them in person, seeing them in something like this, it means a lot to us. It recharges us. It gives us energy to hit that next thing we're doing.
They actually went to the Daybreak, what's it called, studios, right? They're excited. It's awesome. That's really cool. I had when I was younger, I had this idea that I wanted to go and work for at the time SOE. But I didn't have any of the skills needed to go work in game dev. That's really cool. A little timeline. That's right, they were based in Austin for a while. San Diego is like where they started though, I think, right?
So we've all arrived here at Daybreak and tours are going on, but this is what is really the star of the tour. It's the Keith Parkinson and other artist artwork, incredible stuff. These are the actual original oil paintings that the Fippy Fest attendees have had a chance to see. It's incredible artwork. The detail is really difficult to describe until you see them up close, and our Fippy Fest attendees have had a chance to see that today.
Wait, so those are the original paintings? Because that's awesome.
What Daybreak game is. And they come here and they say, wow, I've been thinking about these paintings. I've been thinking about the history of this. And they get a glimpse of that. The really cool thing about Fippy Fest is we get to meet with these players who have spent so much of their life in this game. And they get to see that we are real players too. And we really care about the Everquest franchise, and we hope to keep it going for another 25 years.
That place looks nice. Very nice. This was all part of your that really expensive ticket we were talking about earlier too. It was bleh. Are you there? was it not great food? It looks good. Oh, on the typo. Okay. I thought you were saying that the food wasn't good. Because it looks really nice. Like it looks like a really nice setup. And I'm just like mentally saying like, okay, I want to go to this place when I go to San Diego whenever that happens. I want to go to this place in San Diego when that happens.
It has been an awesome couple of days so far here at Fippy Fest. I think our players and developers have enjoyed themselves. Wouldn't you guys say? It's really been incredible to have everyone here in San Diego that's enjoying the celebrations for 25 years of EverQuest and 20 years of EverQuest 2. It's been a wonderful way for the developers, past and present, to thank them and for them to thank us for the 25 years, this wonderful gift of this online world. Now, some of those past developers and members of the community couldn't be with us for Fippy Fest, but they did want to send along some messages to all of us for this event. Take a look.
Hey everybody, I am Jeffrey Zetkin, or GZ, or as you may know me, the Archmage of North, and just wanted to say thank you to EverQuest for an amazing 25, or in this case, 28 years since I've been there for a while, and congratulations to everybody.
Hello there, it's Linda Carlson, or Brass the Dwarf. I'm here to thank the EverQuest franchise. 25 years of EverQuest, and EverQuest 2 entering its 20th year. Thank you for bringing us all the ability to share an online space. You've given us careers, you've given us families, you've given us comfort over some very difficult years. And here's to the next 25.
Hello, I'm Scott Hartzman, former Technical Director of EverQuest and Tech Director and later head of EverQuest 2. Working on EverQuest and EverQuest 2 was one of the greatest honors of my career. What made them so special was the friendships. Between players, and with other developers. Lifelong friendships that really withstand the test of time, just like the games themselves. Happy 25th birthday, EverQuest. Here's to the next 25.
Absolutely. Now, like any good pack, any good team, it's only as good as the leader. And for Darkpaw Games, that leader has to know an immense amount about a very immense set of games in a very immense world. It's not just a technical sense that they need to know about, but a business sense,
100%
good
the
game
same
development
fireman.
sense. And because the longevity of the game is tied to the community, they need to have a good sense about people. A good leader knows and understands this. Now, she's not only the leader for the team of developers, but also a leader in the community inside and out. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the head of Darkpaw Studios, Jen Chan.
I think Jen Chan's actually been doing a really great job with EverQuest, because when she took over from Holly, felt like the game was dying, you know?
Hello, and thank you all for being here. It's an honor to celebrate 25 years of all the multiverses of EverQuest. And first off, I would like to thank all of you, our players and fans, because without y'all, the game wouldn't exist today. And I'd like to thank the past and present team, keeping the game thriving with new expansions, new content, and new features every single year. So please, join me in a round of applause for everyone that has helped make this celebration so special. So I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about why EverQuest is so special to me and why I'm honored to still be serving all of you. Reflecting back on my sweet 16 years as a developer on EverQuest, one silver cord shined the brightest. And that silver cord was connected to the people. The communities that you have built, the lives that you have saved, and the families that we have all found. All of it wouldn't be here without all of you willing to lend an ear or a hand to those that are struggling through something. You have all truly changed people's lives for the better. It's been a wild ride, and we have a bright future ahead of us. And I hope to celebrate another 25 more years.
That's awesome, Jesse. And no, I didn't hear about that, Vincent.
Thank you so much, Jen. I have so many questions now as we get into this next day of Fippy Fest. A lot of things that I want to bring up. Let's start with this year, 2024, being declared the year of Darkpaw. There is so much that is happening. What can you tell us about what's been happening this year?
So I'd love love to talk to you first about our soundtracks. So we've been releasing soundtracks of our previous expansions every month, and Jay Latterwasser, our audio engineer.
Planes of Power has one of the best soundtracks for EverQuest.
He's been lovingly going through and organizing all of the music. And for him, it was like sifting through a time capsule, or even reading the rings of a tree stump. The evolution of games became very transparent, especially with EQ. You could see the way the technology changed and progressed throughout the eras. A quick stat that he had provided, EQ currently has 400 pieces of music, totaling 13 and a half hours.
That's a lot of music. Holy shit.
And EQ2, not to be outdone, has over 700 different pieces of music, totaling for 15 and a half hours.
I know some people don't play with the music and sound on. I am one of the people that does play with the music and sound on, so I appreciate every second of that music. One of the things that we've been talking about for Darkpaw, for the year of Darkpaw, is the Anniversary Tower. It's been a big success, but talk to us a little bit about that, because it's been so much fun to enjoy.
So about last year, May, June-ish, I prompted the entire development team to think of things that we could do to celebrate these milestone anniversaries. And normally, big content release ideas come from the design team. But the Anniversary Tower came from a relatively new environment artist, Chris Merlot.
100% Zorthos.
Where's Chris? Right there.
So this story is from them. So when the challenge came up, there was one big question, and that is, when you're trying to honor so much history, where do you go? And the natural answer is, well, everywhere. So we did.
It's been incredible.
Yeah, and so the tower is a love letter to the series. It's also a great sightseeing tour across Norath because it features 11 locked magical rooms that are recreations of places that you can visit in Norath today. It's also a gigantic art gallery featuring some of the never-before-seen concept art from over the years. I know the first time that I went through the gallery, I was like, are we sure that's ours? I've never seen
Same.
that.
I was really confused, like, what is this?
There's
a lot of art in there that's just
with a new
weird.
tower every month. It's meant to be savored, not inhaled, very much like a party that you never want to end.
And we certainly don't want this party to end anytime soon, do we? All right. So we've talked about EverQuest, the Anniversary Tower, but EverQuest 2 has its own set of events that are going on for the year of Darkpaw. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So the biggest event that we are doing in EverQuest 2 is the Masquerades of Divinity. And this was really the brainchild of senior designer Carlos Mora.
Where's Carlos? There he is. He's over there.
So we asked him, what was the inspiration for the masquerades? Where did you come up with this idea? And he recalled the feeling of seeing the avatars of the gods back in Echoes of Fëdor, back when they were the new hotness. And it was also that same feeling that he got from all of those GM events in EverQuest. And so it was that awe-inspiring feeling, and the fact that they were interacting with us, just mere mortals, and that amazing feeling stuck with him all of these years. And so with the 20th anniversary, we are trying to recreate that feeling from before by having the gods, new and old, participate directly through their avatars, challenging the player's mettle.
Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff.
I honestly didn't even know about that because I've been so focused on
this is the
EverQuest,
question
not
that
the
I really
second
want
one.
to ask, because in the year of Darkpaw, you've brought back one of the things that me, as a super fan, as a collector of all of the EverQuest swag, I've been really excited to hear. Bringing back the swag store, are there any plans for the year of Darkpaw as we continue to expand that?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I have...
Oh, she's a magician. I didn't know she played a magician class.
Is that a cloth map?
I have these lovingly drawn new commissions of the cloth maps from the original artist.
I don't have
Rick
money
Schmitz.
for this.
We have one from EverQuest 1, and these are amazing. They feel great. And obviously, they're pretty large. And then we also have one for EverQuest 2.
Oh.
And these were done by Rick Schmitz, the original artist.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
And they look incredible,
big.
and they do feel quite nice. And these are going to be
Right?
available
Pulls it out
in
of
the
the
swag
pocket?
store.
Yes, they're available in the swag store right now.
So they went live this morning. So if you're on the
I'll be getting
stream,
the EverQuest
you
one.
can hit the swag store. Very cool looking. We don't even have copies of these, so this is amazing. One of the things that people are most anxious to tune into
That's
Fippy
awesome.
Fest for
$20?
is some new
That's it?
information. New information about the games, what's coming for the
that's
future.
nice.
One of the
That's
things
pretty
that's
good. I
been
was
happening
expecting
over
more.
the past several months is the beta that's going on for the next EverQuest 2 server that's going to be launching. Do you have any information on that for us?
Well, I'm pleased to announce
I think I
EverQuest
paid
2's
more than
Origin
that
server and Nash
for
Sul will go
poster.
live next Wednesday.
What?
June 19th at noon.
So these guys here, they've been waiting for the server. So you guys can't see them here, but they're
Are you kidding?
definitely
Like,
waiting
it's-
for it.
the
Of
Origin-
course,
that's
one of the
really
things
soon.
that we really
Holy
want to hear,
shit.
is all the players want to hear,
That's the
is
Origin
what's going to
server?
happen with expansion releases for later in the year for both EverQuest and EverQuest 2.
Dang.
We've passed this big milestone. As we head into the future, what's in store for us?
Well, so for EverQuest, our 31st expansion is named The Outer Brood.
Okay, everybody got that? The Outer Brood.
For EverQuest. For the,
And
the
for EverQuest 2's 21st expansion, we're calling it The Scars of Destruction.
All right. So there's your tease. It's been an exciting time. Great information that we have all throughout the day here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Jen Chan, head of studio.
I want to like
Darkpaw
applaud.
Games.
I'm not there. I'm just like.
Now, there is so much more in store for Fippy Fest. You're going to hear a little bit more about the expansions. You're going to get a little bit of a tease. We've got a lot happening for Fippy Fest. We've got some incredible panels. We've got incredible EverQuest art. There's an in-game hide and seek that's going to be ongoing for both EverQuest and for EverQuest 2. And the devs are going to answer some of your community questions as well as questions from the community that is here. But up first, now that you've gotten a little taste of what Jen has told us about the expansions, how about something a little more visual? So up next, our making of EverQuest and EverQuest 2 expansions. We're going to have developers on the stage to talk a little bit about what it's like to make expansions. Fippy Fest is a celebration of the passion and the history of EverQuest and EverQuest 2. Now, as fans, we all have our special memories and our favorite aspects of the games that we love. But what about the developers? They have their favorites too.
My name is Daniel Hosford, and I'm the engineering manager for EverQuest 2.
I'm Lucy McLaurin. I'm the engineering manager for EverQuest.
Hi,
I'm Ryan Shannon. I'm a senior game designer on EverQuest.
My name's Carlos Mora, and I'm known as Ninja, and I'm a senior designer too on EverQuest 2, mainly raid content.
My name is Robert Fouts. I'm the lead system designer for EverQuest 2.
And what would you say is your most significant contributions to the game or games?
Well, the servers are up, I think. I think that there's a lot of cool things that we've done together on the code team, and I wouldn't try to take credit for them. I would say that some of the things that we've worked on in the past years that I think are really awesome are randomized loot, level up progression, things like the server loot bonus, and most recently alternate personas.
The single biggest thing that I've ever done is the
The
overseer
capture in the,
system.
in the side and a Dalek too.
But the overseer system is interesting because I didn't actually get to design it. I got brought onto the team as it was being started. And I ended up kind of like, well, I guess I was overseeing its development because it took many, many months for us to get it out the door. And that was, but it was a very big project. And it's probably the biggest single contribution I've made to EQ so far to date.
I guess if I had to choose, though, it'd probably be Tower Frozen Shadow. I was a huge fan of that in EQ1, and I lived in there for probably years combined. And when I got the opportunity to work on it in EQ2, I was just like jumped at it. I was like throwing blows, trying to get everybody to know that's my zone. So yeah, I really loved the way it turned out, and I put a lot of effort and time and personal story and stuff into it to kind of further it along what had already been done.
So let's kind of talk about some of your favorite things in the game. Let's start with, do you have any favorite zones in the game?
Yeah, so my totally favorite zone of all time is definitely Plane of War. It has a lot of really challenging content, and it's also like nostalgic and cool that they added that so much later on in the game.
What about favorite NPCs, or it could be the actual NPC because of the story, or NPC models because it looks really cool in the game? You have any favorites there in either game?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Lucan because he's so iconic for one.
Probably in Echo Caverns when the gnome is like trying to get your help to fix the dirigible. And something spawns behind you and runs at you, and he's like, "What's the McGillicuddy is that thing?" And it just was like so jarring and out of place, but was an interesting kind of diversion to the dialogue to make something attack you. And I really liked the way it turned out. It was just humorous.
Did I read somewhere that there's a specific NPC that you like to use for testing certain things?
Oh, like the Paladin Pig, or it could be. I mean, I usually spawn a pig, and it was one I think put in by Rob called we could test pig, or I think one of them's called the Paladin Pig, and we just spawned this thing and set it invulnerable, and I think we've probably killed that pig over 1 million times by now.
He's been subject to torture.
Absolutely, but he gets the job done. He helps us, excuse me, find and fix the bugs.
This is a big year
Everquest
for both
2.
games, milestone year. Why would you say that this anniversary is special to you?
Well, this anniversary is special to me because it's been 20 years since I started playing the game. It's just one of those groundbreaking milestones of getting this far and this long with a game that stays this popular.
I mean, 25 years is pretty awesome for any game, and 20 for ours. And but I mean, EverQuest has always held a special place in my heart. It's always been the game that I keep playing, whereas others I tend to play for a bit and move on. I can always come back to EverQuest and have a good time, whether it be EverQuest 1 or 2.
I think 25 years is a really incredible accomplishment for any game, and especially for EQ. I think EQ really keeps impressing all of us, players and developers, with how well it continues to do after so long.
What is it you would say that you...
So one of the things that I wanted to bring up is that at the beginning of this, Fading was talking about how EverQuest is the longest running MMO, including development time. 28 years, I believe they said. So that sounds like EverQuest started development before Ultima Online then. I mean, if that's crazy.
Disagreement, but they're always passionate. They love the game, and they're passionate about saying, hey, we want it to be better. We want it to continue forever. And that helps us be passionate about trying to do that exact thing with them. Make it better. Make it last forever. Do everything we possibly can to do both of those things, because their passion is what helps feed our passion.
They're the most passionate and just dedicated fans that you could hope for. I mean, the fact that this game has been running for as long as it have is obviously due to the community, right? And they help us on all levels. I mean, they help us find bugs. They help us, basically just keep the game going. I mean, we couldn't do without them. So, I mean, their passion and dedication has got to be, at the heart of it.
When you have been playing a game for like over 2 decades, right, there is a difference in how much you care about it and how much it means to you, than there are in other games. And I think that like matters. I think that that's an important thing to keep in mind, like as developers, right? When we're working on the product, that how the depth of how much people actually care about this game is a very important thing for us to respect as developers, and to also care about and to like nourish to the best of our ability. And like, I guess I hope as developers, like, we can continue to provide the experience that these players, have been enjoying for decades, for as long as they want to keep playing the game.
No EQ3 beans yet. Origins is just around the corner though, next week though. For EverQuest 2.
One of the things that made the fan conventions for a long time so successful are the panels, and with this milestone year, we thought we'd talk about what it's like to go into the making of the 50 expansions that are now available for EverQuest and EverQuest 2. So here to talk about those expansions, I have a panel here. I'm going to introduce them all. Adam Bell, Design Manager for EverQuest. Alan Van Koevering, Assistant Manager of Content for EverQuest. Kyle Valee, our Creative Director for EverQuest 2. And Nathan McCall, our Lead Content Designer for EverQuest 2. I've got to give you this stat. So on this couch, collectively, there is 87 years of experience working on EverQuest. That's incredible. They don't like when I mention that stat, but the players like when we mention that stat. So I want to start at the beginning. And Adam, I want to start with you. How do you start? Where do you begin when it comes to developing an expansion?
Well, it's a relatively simple process. We all give a little warning, and then we start with a set of pitches. We review all the pitches and then decide which pitch we want to work with. Once we've found the pitch that we like, we refine the story, make sure we're telling the story we want to tell. And then we continue going from there. Then we figure out what zones we're going to do and figure out what stories we want to tell in each zone. And just keep iterating on that for a few months. And then we start making the game.
And what is that timeline like for EverQuest specifically? What's the timeline of developing an expansion look like? How long does it take?
Typically, it's the whole time for an expansion is probably a year and 5 months. Now, there is some overlap. We will still be working on the previous expansion while we're working on the next expansion.
Jeez.
So there is overlap time where we're mostly writing stories
Yeah,
while
because they're
we're
releasing an
finishing up
expansion
the previous
every
expansion.
year.
So I posed the question for EverQuest. So Kyle, I want to go to you and pose it for EverQuest 2. What is that timeline like for you? How is it different and how is it the same?
Whoa. It's pretty similar. Everybody kind of on the team has ideas what they want to do for an expansion, so we do pitches like what they're saying. But sometimes we also have passion projects. We've had a couple expansions in the past 5 years that were passion projects that we've been talking about for years that we wanted to do. So we pitch them, we talk about them, and then typically once we've decided, what the expansion's going to be, we turn it over to this man, and he kind of goes and does all this incredible, research, and then we kind of come back and talk about it and decide what direction the expansion's going to go, and who are the baddies and who are the goodies, and what's going to kill you.
And Kyle, is the timeline the same?
No, our timeline is a bit different. It's about a year. I mean, it's more like, no, it's about a year. I mean, we start planning December, January. So we launch the expansion in November, right? And then we start planning December, January, and then we have to get all the zone documents done and stuff ready for art so that art can start as soon as possible, on the overland zones.
I wonder if they have a less
What is it that
ideation
takes the
phase
most
with a
time?
smaller
Where
team
does your time go? What is it that takes the most effort?
for EQ2?
Well, I mean, it all takes a good amount of effort, but I mean, the art definitely takes the most time. I mean, and every year our artists raise the bar. Like every year, it's like, oh, last year this is the coolest zone I have ever seen, and then guess what? They're like, oh, you like that? Well, watch this. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool.
Alan, I want to ask you. We talk about the content that has to go into these expansions, and one of the things that you have to do is tell a story. That's something that you have to come up with. So what type of stories do you enjoy telling? What are the things that you like to talk about when you're developing these expansions?
An expansion is always about some large overarching, like you're saying, what's the big bad? What are they going to fight? And all that's important. And you need a great setting. You need fantastic artists, which we do have, to set a scene. But for me, the key to link a person to a story is someone talking about it, some real person. Like you can see a dragon flying over and destroying things. That's cool. But unless somebody's being affected by it, it isn't as interesting of a story. It doesn't link to the player. And for Veil of Valeris, which is one of my favorites, we normally reward people for doing the expansion with loot, cash, whatever. This time we decided to give them story, and the fun part I got to do there was I'm going to shorten this because I know that you're looking at me like, hurry up.
No.
But
no, because I know we have an asset for Veil of Valeris, and if they want to bring that up, that's what I was looking at, because I know we have
cool.
some of the art for Veil of Valeris. If they have that available,
Veil
we'll
of
bring it
Valeris
up for
was
you.
kind
But
of
continue.
a weird.
Yeah, but for me,
expansion.
I wanted to tell. So the Noranthian gods are creatures created from a magical plane. They exist regardless of that anybody cares that they're there. Most fantasy lore has gods that are powered by their worshippers. So if you worship the god is stronger, then the god gives you the power back as magic, more or less. The Illyrian gods are those kinds of gods. The Noranthian gods are not. So we wanted to show the difference between those two kinds of gods and get that lore out there in case people had missed it, because I thought people had. But the fun part was I got to write stories about each of those individual Illyrian gods becoming gods from normal Illyrians, which are not normal Noranthians, but different story. And they, as they become more and more famous, they do more and more notable things. They become more and more heroic and then more godly. And I got to write a bunch of stories for those and then give them as rewards for players who, as they finish the expansion, and they talk to these Sentry Stones, which are now off the screen again. And that's how they get the stories, because those stones had been there forever and they were brought across from Alaris when they came.
And VOA is one of my favorite expansions. If you haven't had a chance to play through the content, it really is one of the real big stories. Its storytelling is intricate in that expansion.
Veil of Alaris.
Nathan, I want to go to you for a moment.
I like how House of
because you're
Souls good.
so
I like Broken Mirror as
enthusiastic
well.
about the quality of the content and the stories that you guys tell in EQ2. You're so passionate about it. How are you able to tell those stories in EQ2? How is it different?
Ooh, how's it different? Well, everything sets the stage for a story, right? You've got everything around you, whether it's the location, what you're fighting, what it is you're actually doing. The quest journals, there's every part of it is going into the storytelling, right? All of that should be part of it. And but one of the complex things about EQ2 is that I'm working with a history that is shared between the two games. And so having to parse through all of the known history of both games, our shared one timeline, and trying to figure out, what happened in their timeline that I have to still honor because it happened before Planes of Power. So it better be part of our same shared history.
And how do you keep that all straight?
Oh, I don't.
That's fair. That's fair, honestly.
I have got a database, I have got search engines, I have got that, and that's what Kyle was referring to when he said, okay, we then give it over so that he can go over and do his magic. That is all investigation work. I look into what is it that players know? What is it they think they know? What is it that in-game has shared? So I have to look at all of that. And I love those little tidbits that I can find out there that might be like threads that were kind of just like, maybe it was a statement said on the side, and not really thought about as being serious. And then I can pick that up and go, oh, no, this is something.
Alan, I want to go back to you because the VOA totem there is now showing. So we were talking about the gods as well, and just telling these stories, and it's just so interesting when we talk about trying to keep some connectivity between the games. But you know, the pantheon of Norath, not just what's going on in Alaris, because that was a whole new pantheon. How do you talk about that kind of pantheon, the gods of the game?
It's hard. First of all, I want to appreciate you because I don't have to do all that. I don't have to know anything about your game at all, and I try not to because it would just confuse me. So I appreciate all your effort. I really do.
Thank you.
I don't know how to. That's a really interesting question. I've never really thought about it that way.
The gods play such a role in the stories. I feel like you may kind of go into telling a story about the gods and then maybe back off of it a little bit as well.
So unfortunately, because players in Norath have become so much stronger than the gods, and they're sort of static entities because of what I just said. They are born of the planes, and we could obviously just crank them, and we have, make them more difficult. But they are sort of static entities, so they are no longer the key features in the EQ universe, at least in our version of it. I don't know about you guys, but they've had to fall off because players can just beat them now. That probably can't happen again, as I was saying, in another universe where worship makes the gods stronger. As your followers get stronger, you in theory also get stronger, but the gods of Norath theoretically are static. So I think they're fantastic characters, and they're really fun to play with, and it's fun to instigate stuff with them. But I don't know that they're major enemies anymore. Right?
It's interesting.
They're in the background going, what happened to us? Like me, the old people in the universe. Where are we now?
Adam, I want to come back to you because you know some developers make AA titles, some developers make AAA titles. Adam is going for a quadruple A title, and that question leads you to
Ambleshift's amazing automated amalgamator. I was a new designer at the time, and I'm like, I'm going to make trade skills be what they are and be just accurate. And I made this abomination with more than 31 combined steps where you could fail along the way, and it was
oh my gosh,
glorious and horrible.
31 sub
And I learned as a
combines?
designer that while this may be fun in my head, it's not really fun for the players. So I learned the good lesson of think of what's fun for the player over reality.
Wow,
I love how your experience
horrible.
over time changes as you develop the games. 23 years of experience for Kyle working on the games. I assume the process of creating zones and kind of the content, you've settled into a method of doing that, but that was not always the case, was it?
Yeah, it's like second nature now, but there's this story that I tell people because it's like my design horror story. Is we were working on Kunark, Rise of Kunark, the 4th expansion for EverQuest 2, and I was so
really
excited
good expansion.
about it. I was super excited because Kunark was like my favorite expansion in EverQuest, and they're like, we're gonna give you your own zone. I was like, rad, my own zone. It was Jarsouth Wastes, and it was a massive zone. And when they gave it to me, there were no POIs in it, points of interest, nothing. And so I kind of started working with the artist that I was working on. His name was Jim, and we were drawing POIs on a whiteboard in his cubicle, like, okay, I want this, and then he'd go build it and stuff. But during this, I was populating the zone, and my computer was really terrible. I mean, when I say terrible, I mean it was one of those old, really bad Dells. And it was taking me, I was using a new tool called Designer Dashboard. I wasn't using...
no EQ3, but Origins is coming
and it was
very,
taking
very
me about
soon for
15
EverQuest 2.
seconds to drop a
And also
single
we got
spark, so
names
you could
of
drop it
the 2 expansions that we're getting this year.
And then the bell would go off. Ding! Okay, that one's in. And
Scars
so
of
anyway,
Destruction
this
for
zone, when I
EverQuest
got
2.
to a certain point, this is also a tale of what not to do.
And the Brood, I already forgot the one for EverQuest. It's something to do with the Brood. So I'm guessing Dragons for EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2. Scars of Destruction could be a lot of things. Date for Origins was Wednesday, I believe, the 19th, right? Which is very soon.
Got chewed out pretty good. And but the funny thing is like, you know, getting new computers was like a hierarchy thing. It was like, oh, you haven't been here long enough to have a good computer. But they had a couple sitting in the coder's office, and they gave me like this old coding computer, and it was 20 times faster than the one I had, and I put it all back in about a week.
Wow.
So, but it was terrifying.
Yeah, Mr. C. So my guess is that, like, with the Origins announcement, my guess is they wanted to have like a moment, right? Like a moment at Fippy Fest, which makes some sense. Like, oh, like it's coming right now. You know, like how a lot of times in Summer Game Fest or whatever, there's a lot of excitement when you get, okay, here's this cool thing. You get to play it right away, and that kind of makes some sense. I do think a lot of people would have preferred a little bit more notice. But you know what? We've known about it for a long time. We've known it's in June for a long time. And is process of elimination, there weren't that many weeks left of June. So it's one of those things. And now we've been playing Monsters Memories. Yes, I have, but I keep having conflicts of schedule. I am missing all of the stress tests. Wait, what's Origins? Origins, for anyone who doesn't know, is the EverQuest 2 progression type server. It's a new thing that they're trying this year, which will have no chrono. And it'll be trying to bring EverQuest 2 back to when it was more difficult, more group focused, and less streamlined. And it should be launching. And I'm excited about it. I'm going to try it. So
colors and how it changes as you travel through it from just completely, I mean, it's not like subtle changes. It's like, you know, now it's gold, now it's all emerald, now it's like silver. And my favorite part is this golden forest that they did that's like got this cool golden lake in it. And they actually like did something to make the water ripple really slowly, so it looks like it's like a liquid gold lake and stuff. It's just
if you've never seen it, it is absolutely stunning, and you've definitely got to check it out.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't done like any teases here for the upcoming expansions besides the names, like concept art or something.
So
you know,
Lands became my design zone going forward until Tim totally blows it away.
Nathan, you kind of have a similar story about development where it's you know, the Tears of Vishen expansion.
Oh yeah, that threw us for a curveball, and particularly for storytelling.
They will, Roic. So for anyone who isn't familiar with the schedule, this is going to keep going. I'm not going to be streaming the whole thing. They're going to be going for a long time today, and they'll end, I believe, around 4 p.m. PST, something like that. So they had the keynote to start the thing, and then they have the closing remarks. And the closing remarks, in my guess, is probably where you'd see anything about an EverQuest 3 or something like that, because that's kind of what they did with the panel, right? So when they did the panel at PAX East, the future of EverQuest was the last part of their whole panel, which is basically where like, yes, we are making EverQuest 3. Yes,
the dragon area.
Yes, we are hiring for it. So they've been hiring for the game and things like that. So I would expect to get some kind of tease at the end. In the intermediary, they're gonna have this thing on expansions right now, and then they're gonna have stuff like what's it called? The hide and seek. So there's interactive stuff for people to play if they want on EverQuest or EverQuest 2. They're going to be doing a hide and seek on each game at certain time rates and things like that. But it's I mean it's cool. I'm probably about done with my coverage of it, because unfortunately I won't be here during the closing remarks. But I'm gonna catch up on it later. I've got other plans that I got to do. I turned a few errands. Hopefully, we'll be back before you end. I'm ending here in just a moment, AP. But thank you so much. Based on the Origin beta, it's probably not ready. That's what I've heard. I've heard a lot of issues with the Origins beta, and that there were some things that needed to be ironed out. That's why I was kind of wondering if, because we hadn't had an announcement yet, it was being pushed. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyone who doesn't remember I played the EverQuest 1 progression servers in 2006. Sleeper and Combine. To say that those servers had issues is probably it's putting it very lightly. They had tremendous issues, but it was still fun. There's still a lot of fun in it. Those were the servers where you had like on the website, they actually tracked like first kills and everything. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. There was issues with loot that shouldn't have been in game that just stayed in game. Like they have been ironing out EverQuest progression servers since 2006. and they're the what you get now with every launch is significantly different from what it was back then. Thanks for the stream, Red. Love hearing your wonderful. Oh, thank you so much, Jay. They didn't really even test the higher levels. That's concerning. That's yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly. I think this is in a lot of ways the Origin server is kind of a test for them in the same vein, and I want to see what they do with how they prevent Chrono. You know, because they're not going to have it on there, and I don't know if that's a limitation of just what they're doing or what, but it's nice to not have it, at least in theory. We'll just have to see if it actually comes out that way. But I'm going to go ahead and end over on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you want to follow the rest of this, the actual stream is pinned on YouTube, and I'll post it on Twitch as well. Yeah, so if you want to watch it, it's going to be a lot of stuff. I'll probably do a summary of this. I've already wanted to do a summary of the PAX East and the AMA, which they are going to be doing a dev AMA as well throughout the day. And I'm going to watch that later today when I'm done with my real life stuff that I need to do. And so there's going to be, I'm sure there'll be a lot of information and probably a lot of repeated information that's going on. And also EverQuest show. So Fading, who's on screen right now, this person, Fading. The EverQuest show is a fantastic source for EverQuest information as well. I've watched the EverQuest show for years. I was sad when they took a hiatus, but I'm glad they're back with another season. And so they have like some of the best. Fading has some of the best presentation like of any YouTube channel I've seen. And it just so happens to be a focus of EverQuest. And he gets lots of interviews too, so dev interviews. He's interviewed basically everybody from Holly to Jen Chen and everyone in between. So thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and end over on YouTube. And I'll talk to you later. And we'll find someone to raid over on Twitch. But thank you all so much. I'll see you all later. And yeah, I'll get to work on a recap of this. And kind of get an idea of what EverQuest is doing, what they're planning for the future. But thank you all so much on YouTube. Bye, everybody. Okay, we are out.